Hi Husker fans, it's Coach Jaylen Reyes here to do a little video breakdown of yesterday's win at Northwestern. We got 4 clips here. I want to talk about a couple of things that we've been talking about in practice, and happy to see some of it transfer over to the matches this weekend. So the first one we're going to talk about is out-of-system blocking. That's been a big emphasis for us. This is when the other team is out of system or maybe even bump setting the ball from off the net, high ball to one of the pin attackers, and we've been really working on our out-of-system blocking. So we're going to focus on Layla Blackwell here. She's standing right here in the middle. Okay. First thing we're talking about is making sure we're identifying the passing, seeing the set. Okay, so as the play goes, okay, libero for Northwestern is going to be bump setting. Okay, once this ball goes up in the air, Merritt and Layla do a really good job, if you guys can see this, of looking up at the ball, not out at the attacker. Okay, so we want them to see the ball and where the set is to make sure we have good timing and know exactly where we want to set up the block. Okay, so that's the first part. They do a nice job there. They jump really hard, and we're trying to focus on kind of getting forehand, shoulder to shoulder, and over the net. Okay, so if I play this back, they do a really good job of jumping really hard. Okay, Northwestern covers the ball. Layla does a really good job, again, trying to get back to her base here and making sure she's got her eyes on the setter. Okay, another high ball, so she's going to be blocking out there with Harper Murray as we let it play. Again, 4 hands next to each other, straighten over, leading to a stuff block for Nebraska. All right, this next clip we're going to show a transition back row attack kill by Merritt Beeson. Okay, so we're going to have a serve. Okay, Northwestern is again out of system. We're going to have another high ball out here on our right. Bergen Riley and Annie Jackson do a nice job again of just out of system block setup here against their left side attacker. When we have that, we're going to ask Lexi Rodriguez here. She's going to be playing inside the block. So, we like to think Bergen and Andy are going to maybe take all of this space away. So Lexi's going to position herself outside here. Merritt's going to stand in the middle because a lot of balls go there. And Olivia Mauk is going to be kind of standing down the line, kind of so that way if the attacker hits the ball outside the block, we have people out there to dig it. Okay, so the first part goes well. Lexi positions herself really well. Okay, now we go from defense. Now we're on offense now that we have the ball. Okay, so the first thing we want is Harper to transition. And we would love if Andy could transition and go and hit her patented slide, okay? So we go. Andy quite doesn't get around here because maybe the dig is off the net, so she can't get behind. So she's really out of the play. So now we really have 2 attackers in the pattern. Harper Murray on a go set, and then Merritt Beeson kind of coming up the middle of the court, what we call a big, okay? Okay, so Bergen Riley gets under the ball. We have, our 2 attackers, one out here, one down the middle. Bergen Riley decides to set Merritt a bick. Northwestern actually does a really good job of identifying, and they actually have 2 people ready to block us, okay? So once we get into this scenario in transition, especially when we're facing 2 blockers or more, we want to be able to hit the ball high off the block and not low to the net, okay? So Merritt does a really nice job of challenging the block high in the hands here, okay, and is able to get a kill off the block and deep into the court. Okay, this next clip, it's going to be another transition opportunity for us. Now we have 3 front row attackers, so I'll just let this play. Okay, so our setter is in the back row, so we have Merritt Beeson, Andy Jackson, and Harper Murray in the front row. Okay, so that last clip we showed, we only had 2 attackers in the front row. Okay, so we play. It's another out-of-system ball. It's an off-the-net set. They hit the ball over the net to Olivia Mauk. Okay, when we talk about transition, one of our cues for our players, if I can get this thing to rewind, is we want all 3 attackers to come down running. Okay, so literally it is what it sounds like, is when they land, right now, we want especially these two at the net, Merritt and Andy, to literally physically run to get off the net, which they're doing. Run so that way they can become available. And now we have 3 attackers in the pattern and we're on offense, okay? The big part for Andy is when she runs, when she comes down running, is she's gonna open to the court and she's gonna find where Olivia digs this ball and is able to run to a space on the net, and we call it the gap or the B zone, right in here between these 2 blockers. So try to run in between the 2. And the fact that Harper's ready to hit, this blocker out here is ready to kind of release toward her. And we're gonna try to attack this space and make this middle make a choice. Okay? Andy does a nice job of coming down running. She's available, she gets her arm up, and she's ready to hit the ball past the Northwestern blocker. All right, this last play is maybe a little, it's like a defensive tactic we used. So Northwestern coming into this match, one of their better players is this middle blocker right here named Kennedy Hill. So we try to show her a lot of focus when they would pass the ball good or pass the ball on the net or when they are in system. So if they pass the ball good, just like this, we wanted to make sure we had 2 blockers blocking her. Okay, so we're not gonna just leave her one-on-one. We want 2 blockers on her. They like to set her a lot. She was pretty efficient. Okay, so we're gonna have 2 blockers right here. And the blocker that's not blocking, that's Harper Murray out here. When she's not blocking, she's responsible for what we call off-blocker defense. So you have 2 blockers, and then we actually have 4 floor defenders. Harper and then the three players in the back row, okay? So because we have 2 blockers, Hill tips the ball. Harper does a really nice job of playing it, okay? She digs it a little tight, and Andy Jackson does what we call a recycle, where the ball's dug tight. All she's trying to do is play the ball off the block into the blocker and essentially get blocked, so that way we can cover it and keep the volleyball. So instead of just giving it to the other team, we're trying to play the ball into the block so that way one of us can cover. So Bergen Riley here does a really good job of she's down and ready to cover. Covers it off the net, and now we're out of system, but at least we keep the volleyball. We want to be the one that is able to hit the volleyball. So if we can't kill it, we're trying to keep it, okay? So now that we're out of system in a non-setter setting, we're trying to set the ball inside the court up to the net, maybe about 3 or 4 feet inside and about 3 or 4 feet off the net, kind of right in this space here. Merritt Beeson does a really nice job of kind of getting back to where she wants to start her approach. Okay, Lexi's gonna set this ball nice and high. Merritt's gonna get her feet right to where that circle was there, and she's able to hit the ball, rip the ball across court. So if we play it kind of at real speed here. Okay, 2 blockers on it. Harper's ready to play defense. Andy recycles, Bergen covers. Lexi sets it in that circle, and Merritt does a nice job of ripping that ball across court.